confide. Well, here's the problem. The reason you don't travel with trust in yourself is because you are the only person in the world who's heard every lie you've ever told. Yes, you broke your word to this person and didn't keep your promise to that person and then let that person down and this person down, but guess what? You've broken your word to yourself so many times in the past, you can't believe a word you say. So one of the skillionaire skills that's absolutely essential to building a long-term successful business into the millions and tens of millions and hundreds of millions and billions, or whatever your desired objective is, you have to be a person who is trustworthy. You have character. Okay, that's one. Character is one of the skills, but I'm going to tell you another skill. Communication. You must become a better communicator. But I'm going to give you an insight that you may not have. Until you become better at your internal communication, it's virtually impossible for you to become better at your external communication. So if the things that you say to you are off base, the things you say to other people can't be on base. It's amazing how powerful words are. Words are so powerful that they are both the material and the tools that God used to make everything out of nothing. And God said, let there be light, and there was light, and God saw the light, that it was good. I am telling you, your ability and willingness to communicate will determine the quality and perhaps the quantity of your life. But you have to get better at internal communication. Your internal communication is going to be either leveraged or limited by your vertical communication. What does that even mean? Well, God told Moses, who was a stutterer, so he had a communication problem. March into Pharaoh's office and tell him, I said, let my people go. Moses, when I first read this, I thought this was the most ridiculous question I've ever heard. Moses said, who shall I say has sent me? Every time I read that, I wanted to coach Moses. Say, bro, that's not a good question. But it was a good question. I was confused. Moses was not confused. Like, what kind of question? Who should I say has sent thee? Really? That's it? That's what you got? I would have said, what can I tell Pharaoh you said you gonna do if he say no? That's what I'd have said, right? That's what I'd have said. But see, Moses understands communication better than I understood it. How's that? Because Moses understood that authority is always based on identity. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? That's why if the FBI comes to your house, they have to show you their badge and their ID. That's why police cars look like police cars and police officers wear uniforms. That's why people in the military wear uniforms, right? Because the authority that you have flows out of the identity that you have. But see, here's the problem. Most people don't know their identity because they don't know the identity. Who's the identity? The I am that I am. I want you to think about that. What does I am that I am say? It says everything. There are not two more powerful words in the English language than I am. Why? Okay. I have one more thing I want to share with y'all about the skills, the people skills, and then we're going to have to do the business skills on a different day because if y'all would listen faster, I could talk faster. So there, really interestingly enough, when we talk about I am, why is it so, how can those words be so powerful? Here's why. Because in the realm of time, there's no such thing as the present. There's only the past and the future. As soon as I say now, it becomes then. So in the realm of time, we only have now and then. Or we actually have then and then. because now can't exist. It evaporates too fast. It exits stage right too fast. Now then, can you let me finish the word? Now then. But in the realm of eternity, there's no such thing as the past or the present. The past or the future. There's only the present, which is why God is the I am. Because eternity is the forever now, which is why God knows the end from the beginning, because the end is the beginning and the beginning is the end. And because we're made in the image of God, we have the ability to replicate that on a small scale inside of time. But God did it on an infinite scale outside of time. Like, for instance, if you wrote, starred in, directed, and produced a movie, and you edited all the shots, you'd be a tired dude or lady. You'd be tired. But let's say it's a dramatic action comedy. That's what mine would be. Anyway, every time it looked like you were going to die, the people in the premiere would be, and you just be there all calm. Why? Because you know the end from the beginning. They're worried about you dying, but you're not worried about you dying. Why? Because you wrote the whole thing, you produced the whole thing, you directed the whole thing. So what's outside of time, what's inside the realm of time for them is outside the realm of time for you, because you know how the movie begins in the middle, you know the middle, and you know the end. So because in the realm of eternity, there's only the present. Present is powerful. I am is powerful. How powerful is I am? It's so powerful that I have to be hyper intentional with every word that I say that follows I am. That's why I can't afford to say I am so stupid. Because when I do, I'm infusing my stupidity with the power of eternity. I'm such a loser. Don't do that. You're infusing your limitations with the power of eternity when you say that. I am broke. You can't afford to say that. Because you're infusing, I promise you, if there's an area of your life that's not working, it is an area of your life in which you do not understand and are not applying truth. Period. And by the way, when I say working, that doesn't mean all hunky-dory. Because Ezekiel's life was working when he was laying on his side for hundreds of days and wasn't allowed to get up to go to the bathroom or to eat or do anything as a sermon illustration, which nobody was going to respond to. His life was working. His life was working when his wife died, and God told him not to mourn for her. So don't make the mistake of thinking that working means everything goes the way you desire it to go. That can only be true when you are in alignment with your assignment and you are yielded to the King of Heaven. Then and only then will you be okay when things are going the way they're supposed to go, even when they don't feel good. Are y'all tracking? So, we have to make sure we understand when I say I am, I have to say something powerful after that. I am an entrepreneur. I am successful. I am made in the image of God. I am, therefore I can. Are y'all tracking? That's how this really works. And so if your vertical communication is not correct, then your internal communication is not going to be correct. And if your internal communication is not correct, your horizontal external communication is not going to be correct. Lastly, we talked about character. We talked about communication. I would be remiss not to talk about compassion. There are people who believe you have to be this hard-nosed, cutthroat, I'm only in it for the money, and I don't care about the people kind of person to become a successful entrepreneur. Fewer things could be further from the truth. I believe that the master key to building something enormously impactful and profitable is you have to love the people you serve so much that you never sell them anything that would harm them.